Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 57 based on novel. So let's start. Turning his head around, Lin Dong saw three figures with pleasantly surprised expression on their faces, standing near a corner of the pavilion, staring back at him. The leader of the group was a beautiful girl with a slender and soft waist, dressed in a light-colored dress. The person that possessed such delicate and exquisite appearance was precisely Ji Mingqi of the Ji clan. Standing beside Ji Mingqi were two familiar and beautiful figures. They were Ji Yang as well as the timid young girl and the first person that Lin Dong met when he entered the chaotic demon sea, Ji. Looking at the three ladies, whose beautiful faces wore a pleasantly surprised expression under the illumination of the candlelight, Lin Dong clearly gawked for a moment. Promptly, a slight joy surged from within his eyes. Seeing some familiar faces in a foreign land was always a heartwarming event. I did not expect the three of you to be here as well. Together with a somewhat puzzled Mu Lingshan, Lin Dong walked over, before he sent a smile at them while he spoke. Are you also participating in the competition organized by the Flame Divine Hall? Oh yeah, I've almost forgotten. You're no longer a nobody like you were back when we first met. Ji Mingqi grinned as she stared at Lin Dong. With her eyebrows gently curving like a crescent moon, her exquisite-looking face appeared exceeding alluring. After hearing such playful words from Ji Mingqi, Lin Dong couldn't help but chuckle. Promptly, he shook his head as he replied, "You think too highly of me." "Ha ha. Brother Lin Dong is as modest as before. The 9th rank on the rookie list isn't a spot where anyone could casually climb up to," Ji Yang said with a gentle smile. The gaze she sent towards Lin Dong was filled with a complicated expression, as she recalled the first time she met Lin Dong on the mysterious Spirit Island. At that time, she and Lin Dong had both broken through to initial profound life stage. However, in the past year, not only had Lin Dong far surpassed her, he had even established a fairly powerful name for himself in the chaotic demon sea. Although the Heavenly Wind Sea region wasn't a famous sea region like the Flaming Sea region, the Ji clan obviously has quite powerful information-gathering capabilities. Hence, they knew about the various feats that Lin Dong had accomplished. A few days ago, they even knew about the feat that Lin Dong had accomplished in the Heavenly Lightning Sea region. At that time, even the elders of their clan were shocked to the point of smacking their lips. With a smile, Lin Dong looked at Ji, who was still as timid as before. Extending his head out to rub the little girl's head, Lin Dong smiled while saying, "You've grown even prettier, little lass." A pink shade appeared on Ji's little face. However, Lin Dong's intimate actions caused her to feel happy and elated. Although Lin Dong had established a name for himself in the chaotic demon sea, he was still warm and kind like before. The relationship between them did not become estranged because of the latter's newfound fame and status. After greeting the trio, Lin Dong proceeded to introduce Mu Lingshan to them. This little girl appeared even more petite than Ji. With her two ponytails and her porcelain doll-like face, she looked extremely cute. For a moment, the three girls could not resist teasing her, pinching her cheeks while continuously chirping and chattering away. With a smile, Lin Dong took a seat at the table they were at. Upon hearing the clear and sweet-sounding chatter from this group of girls, the smile at the corner of his mouth grew much deeper. What a gentle and peaceful sight. You're quite adept at causing trouble. In just a single year, quite a few major events that occurred in Chaotic Demon Sea were all related to you. Escaping from the chirping of the other three girls, Ji Mingqi sent her watery eyes looking towards Lin Dong, who was pouring himself a cup of wine, before speaking in a soft voice. It's not like I wanted it this way. I simply wanted to achieve some of my goals, that's all. Thus, I had no choice but to do so. Lin Dong smiled as he replied. Changing the topic, he said, "The reason you guys are here is because of the so-called lightning competition." Yep. The merchant vessels of our Ji clan just so happened to be in the vicinity. Hence, we conveniently decided to head over to join in the fun. After all, the allure posed by the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol is rather powerful. Ji Mingqi replied with a faint smile. Naturally, we're also aware of our own standing. The only ones who possess the qualifications to fight for that item would be you guys, the fearsome individuals that occupy the top 10 rankings on the rookie list. We've only came here with the intention of obtaining some combat experience. Upon hearing her reply, Lindong didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. However, after thinking about it, what she said made sense. He managed to kill 5 profound death stage experts in the Heavenly Lightning Sea region. Disregarding Gu Mengqi, who obviously viewed this as a fearsome and vicious feat, even to most elders in the Gu clan, this feat was rather shocking. Perhaps, even they could have never imagined that the external aid that they hired had now succeeded till such an extent. Looks like news of this competition has truly spread like wildfire across the entire chaotic Demon Sea, huh? Lindong replied with a sigh. Even the distant Gu clan from the Heavenly Wind Sea region had came over. The allure of an ancestral symbol is truly terrifying. Oh, our Gu clan aren't the only ones that have came over from the Heavenly Wind Sea region. Even the Wei clan has sent members over. Well, take a look over there. Gu Mengqi gave a sweet smile as her beautiful eyes turned towards a certain direction. The Wei clan. Lindong gawked faintly, before turning his head towards the direction of her gaze. This pavilion was extremely vast and expansive, and it looked just like a hotel. There were quite a bit of mutually familiar experts grouped together. At the northeast side from where Lindong was, a group of people was similarly huddled together. In that group, one of them looked rather familiar. Upon closer inspection, it was actually the Wei clan's Wei Zhen that Lindong had previously met on Marshall Island. It seems like enemies often cross each other's path. Looking at Wei Zhen, Lindong started to chuckle. Speaking of which, he had a bit of a grudge with the Wei clan. If it were not for their actions previously, he wouldn't be forced by nefarious Bone Old Man till such a miserable state. Although he ruthlessly blew that old fellow into a human stick, Lindong still wound up with pretty severe injuries as a result. When Lindong looked at Wei Zhen, the latter seemed to have realized it as well. Turning his head around, his face instantly froze the moment he saw Lindong staring back at him with a faint smile. A flash sparkled within his eyes as he hastily evaded the former's gaze. Since Gu Mengqi and the others were able to learn of Lindong's accomplishments, how could Wei Zhen, a member of a similarly powerful clan, not catch wind of it? If they were on the Marshall Island now, that Lindong wasn't frightening. However, right now, the current Lindong caused his heart to tighten in fear. After all, Lindong bore the ominous title of having slaughtered 5 profound death stage experts. That was indeed quite terrifying. Furthermore, he knew that the current him was on a completely different realm. Seeing that evasive gaze from Wei Zhen, who had chosen to avoid his gaze, Lindong faintly smiled. He did not plan to intentionally cause trouble. After all, he disliked doing so. Furthermore, the current Wei Zhen was hardly worthy of his attention. With this thought in mind, Lindong turned around and continued chatting with Gu Mengqi and the other 3 ladies. There were various experts from different locations gathered together in this guest-welcoming pavilion. Hence, it was quite crowded and lively. Although Lindong sat at a corner, due to Gu Mengqi and the other 3's beautiful looks, they had attracted quite a few attentive gazes. Regardless, beautiful ladies always attracted attention. However, Gu Mengqi and the rest didn't care about those gazes. As they continued talking silently, an uproar suddenly rang out from outside the large doors of the pavilion. In the next instant, rustling noises started to scatter about. Tilting his head over, Lindong looked at the large doors. At that spot, a group of people had rushed through. At the very front of the group was a man in a black vest. The male stood tall and straight, with a fairly handsome face. His lips was thin and straight, akin to the edges of a blade, while a chilling aura faintly pervaded out from him. When this group of people appeared, faint clamoring noises rang out within the pavilion. Obviously, they had a fairly powerful reputation and background. Shooting a look at the black-vested male, Lindong proceeded to turn his head back. However, he was faintly startled when he saw that the eyebrows of Gu Mengqi and the other 2 suddenly knit up. "Who are they?" Lindong asked with a smile. "Covering C-Sect's Huang Ling." Ninth place on the rookie list. Oh, he's now been pushed to the 10th place, thanks to you, Gu Mengqi replied. Do you guys know him? Placing the wine cup in his hands gently down on the table, Lin Dong inquired. We don't. After hesitating for a moment, Gu Mengqi replied with a smile. Is there a need for secrets between friends? Looking at Gu Mengqi, whose smile appeared somewhat stiff, Lin Dong asked quietly. Gu Mengqi and Gu Yang looked at each other before the latter replied, It isn't much. I previously mentioned that our merchant vessels are nearby, right? While we were out at sea, we just happened to bump into the Covering Sea sect and their group of people. And it just so happened to be the group led by Huang Ling. Initially, our Gu clan didn't have any grudge or grievances with the Covering Sea sect. However, after he saw Elder Sis Mengqi, that Huang Ling's eyes started to turn red. You should be able to guess what happened next. Elder Sis Mengqi didn't have a favorable impression of him and thus ignored him. Perhaps that Huang Lin turned his embarrassment into rage, as he forcefully detained several of our vessels. It's only a few merchant vessels. It isn't a big deal. Gu Mengqi replied with a smile. After seeing Lin Dong's expression, she became slightly nervous. She knew that the current him was much more powerful than before. However, Huang Ling was also no slouch. Furthermore, he had vast and expansive connections, and there were even a few fearsome individuals, who were ranked top 10 on the rookie list, that had a relationship with him. As of now, Lin Dong was still by his own lone self. If any conflicts were to occur, it would be disadvantageous for him. Oh. Lin Dong nodded his head, proceeding to stop talking about this matter. Raising another question, they started to talk about other matters. Right after Lin Dong changed the topic, Huang Ling walked straight into the pavilion. Promptly, he headed towards a group of people. Coincidentally, that group was where Wei Zhen was located. It seems like Wei Zhen was acquainted Huang Ling. When he saw the latter approaching him, the former hastily came forward and greeted him with a smile. With a sparking gaze, he shot a vague glance towards the direction of Lin Dong and the rest, before whispering into Huang Ling's ear. After he heard Wei Zhen's words, Huang Ling proceeded to pan his head and look towards the direction of Lin Dong. In the next moment, he noticed Gu Mengqi, sitting uneasily under the candlelight, while gently biting her lips. Ah! With a gentle smile, a playful expression emerged on Huang Ling's face. Grabbing his wine cup, he immediately turned around, walking straight towards the group, consisting of one man and 4 ladies. Huang Ling was clearly one of the more dazzling individuals here, and quite a few individuals were paying close attention to his actions. Therefore, when they saw what he was doing, quite a few of their eyebrows faintly lifted. A rustling voice spread within the building. The Gu Mengqi trio stared at Huang Ling, who was walking towards them before a trace of anxiousness flashed across their eyes. In fact, they even involuntarily clenched their hands. After which, they turned to look at Lin Dong. At the moment, the latter's head was lowered, while his fingers gently played with his wine cup. His expression was as calm as an old well. The 3 ladies, who were originally a little worried, felt the anxiety in their hearts quietly dissipate after witnessing Lin Dong's calm demeanor. Ha ha, Miss Mengqi, I wasn't expecting to bump into you here again. It seems like we are fated. The sound of footsteps paused beside the table, while a laughter was transmitted. Gu Mengqi looked at the wine cup, which she was holding in her hand. Huang Ling's handsome face contained a warm smile, but his expression seemed ready to turn cold. Subsequently, as if he quickly recalled something, he clenched his silver teeth while his exquisite and handsome face revealed a somewhat forceful smile. It seems like I had a misunderstanding with Miss Mengqi on the sea previously. Please accept my apologies. After Miss Mengqi leaves, I will arrange for someone to return the merchant vessels. Huang Ling's somewhat heated eyes looked at Gu Mengqi. It looked as if he did not notice anyone else. In that case, thank you very much. Gu Mengqi softly replied. You're welcome, Huang Ling smiled. He immediately asked, Is Miss Mengqi currently available? I have some friends that I wish to introduce to you. The merchant ships of the Gu clan might need their assistance when sailing outside in the future, and there are no drawbacks for you. Perhaps now is not a convenient time. Gu Mengqi replied awkwardly. She clearly felt a headache towards Huang Ling's pestering. Huang Ling smiled faintly when he heard this. He asked, Miss Mengqi should at least give me some face, right? A fury flashed across Gu Mengqi's face after she heard the chill that once again surged into Huang Ling's words. Many experts within the building were looking at their direction. They clearly understood what was going on. It was obvious that Huang Ling was interested in that lady, however, judging from her actions, it seemed like she was not interested in him. Of course, no one made any comments about this. Most of them simply adopted the mood of a casual observer, who was simply watching a show. After all, Huang Ling was no ordinary individual. Instead, he was a powerful person ranked within the top 10 rankings of the rookie list. Although he was a little domineering, given his strength and talent, there was nothing anyone could say. In fact, Huang Ling was quite famous even across the entire chaotic Demon Sea. Thud. The young man seated in the corner, who had his back facing everyone, gently placed his wine cup down while everyone watched the show. A clear sound appeared as the wine cup landed on the table. Face should definitely be given. However, at times, people also voluntarily choose to throw their face. An indifferent voice was emitted after the wine cup landed on the table. The din within the building died down. Many pairs of eyes contained some surprise as they stared at the back of the skinny figure. If this fellow was not skilled, he would have to be a fool to utter those words in front of Huang Ling. Huang Quan narrowed his eyes into a pair of dangerous arcs. At this moment, his eyes contained a playfulness as he looked at Lin Dong, whose back was facing him. He casually remarked, "Your tone is a little arrogant. You should know who I am, right?" Lin Dong turned around, smiled at Huang Ling and said. This fellow had directly made contact with Wei Zhen the moment he entered. It was impossible that the latter did not tell him about Lin Dong's identity. Hence, Huang Ling should be aware that Lin Dong was the person who had pushed his ranking from 9th on the rookie list to 10th. The reason why Huang Ling walked over was partly because of Gu Mengqi. However, a deeper reason was likely because of Lin Dong. The 9th on the rookie list, Lin Dong. I am indeed aware. However, that name does not possess as strong of a deterrent to me as you imagine. Huang Ling started at Lin Dong. The corner of his mouth was curled as he mocked. Lin Dong? He is that Lin Dong? That ruthless individual who killed 5 profound death stage experts in the Sky Lightning Sea region. No wonder he dares to speak in such a manner to Huang Ling. There is going to be a good show to watch. It is rumored that Huang Ling was already displeased that Lin Dong had pushed him down by a rank. If he is really that Lin Dong, it is likely that even Huang Ling would find it difficult to deal with him. Although it is practically impossible to find an initial profound death stage expert that could match up to the top 10 individuals on the rookie list, Lin Dong relied on his own strength to slaughter 5 initial profound death stage experts. There are many individuals in the top 10 rankings of the rookie list in this building. Some of them have quite a good relationship with Huang Ling. It is difficult to conclude who will gain the upper hand in a fight. Quite a big commotion was stirred within the building after Huang Ling's word sounded. Many pairs of eyes were filled with surprise as they looked at Lin Dong. It was likely that this name was no longer foreign to them after this period of time. Gu Mengqi trio were somewhat anxious as they looked at the tension between the two. Their eyes were filled with worry. Lin Dong waved his hand towards the trio. He immediately said, "Let's leave. I do not wish to fight." Everyone around were involuntarily speechless when they heard his words. Everyone knew that Huang Ling was haughty. However, Lin Dong acted in an even more overbearing fashion. However, as they recalled the merciless massacre in the Sky Lightning Sea region, their hearts ended up tightening slightly. This seemingly friendly young man standing in front of them was definitely no kind-hearted Buddha. However, in the face of Lin Dong's attitude, how could someone as arrogant as Huang Ling possibly endure it? Some people who thought of this turned towards Huang Ling. Indeed, they saw that the latter's face was gradually revealing a cold smile. I really want to find out whether the person who could push me down on the rankings list possessed the ability to do so or is merely a phony. Everyone lifted their brows. It seems like Huang Ling was indeed after Lin Dong. Ha ha, brother Huang Ling, it seems that you have ran into trouble. A laughter suddenly sounded while the atmosphere slowly grew increasingly tense. The crowd behind parted before two figures casually walked out. These two people had ordinary appearances, but the aura that was vaguely emitted from them caused one's heart to pound. Some of the knowledgeable individuals even exclaimed out loud. Chen Qing from the Ice Spirit sect and Li Lin from the Sky Shark sect. TSK, they are powerful individuals ranked 7th and 8th on the rookie list. The Overflowing Sea sect, Sky Shark sect and the Ice Spirit sect are extremely close, and the three of them have an extremely close relationship. TSK, with the three of them together, even Lin Dong will feel greatly pressured. Huang Ling's eyes revealed a gloating expression after seeing those two. He quickly spoke in a faint voice, "It is no big deal. It is just that I want to exchange blows with brother Lin Dong, who has recently squeezed ahead of me in the rankings." Lin Dong, huh? I have heard of him. It seems like he is quite skilled indeed. I am also quite curious about him. Li Lin, who was covered in shark skin, glanced at Lin Dong. His eyes had a somewhat strange smile in them. It isn't ideal for someone not from the chaotic demon sea to act so arrogantly here. Chen Qing grinned. However, that smile of his was filled with a cold blade-like aura. The words that the both of them uttered clearly did not pay Lin Dong any respect. Moreover, they were also not fearful of the latter. After all, both of them had fairly powerful backgrounds in the chaotic demon sea. Additionally, they also possess shockingly great talent, and there was hardly anyone in the chaotic demon sea who dared to provoke them. Meanwhile, they had also heard about Lin Dong. However, they were not fearful of his Dao sect background. After all, this was the chaotic demon sea, and a super sect in the eastern Xian region did not have such a long reach. The Ji Mengqi trio looked at the three individuals with frightening auras before their expressions turned a little ugly. Promptly, they clenched their fists. Nonetheless, it was impossible for them to remain calm in the face of three individuals from the top 10 of the rookie list. Moreover, the three great factions supporting them were even more powerful than the Gu clan. You'd better not randomly interfere in the matter between me and Miss Mengqi. Others might be afraid of you, Lin Dong, but I am not. Huang Ling felt a lot more confident with his two good friends supporting him. He glanced at Lin Dong with iciness in his eyes as he spoke in a low and deep voice. Miss Mengqi, please come with me. Huang Ling took a step forward after his voice sounded. Following which, he unceremoniously grabbed Gu Mengqi's wrist. After all, he did not believe that Lin Dong would dare to do anything to him when against three ruthless individuals from the top 10 of the rookie list. Although he had this thought in his heart, he suddenly detected a violent and ferocious beast-like aura erupting the moment his hand landed on Gu Mengqi's wrist. Bang! A palm was extended with lightning-like speed like a pincer. It grabbed onto Huang Ling's arm before heavily smashing him onto the table. The entire table immediately turned into dust. You? Huang Ling was outraged as he let out a stern cry. After which, he saw Lin Dong suddenly lifting his head. His dark and black eyes, which still looked fairly peaceful, had a ferocious and chilling aura rising from it. A brat who doesn't know how to appreciate kindness. A somewhat dense voice slowly emerged from Lin Dong's mouth. He waved his sleeve before the wine jar rose into the air. After which, it was accompanied by a shocking wind as it ruthlessly smashed against Huang Ling's face in front of many stunned pairs of eyes. Bang! The wine jar was shattered before wine splashed in all directions. The jar fragments cut Huang Ling's face, leaving many bloody scars. Meanwhile, a powerful force shook Huang Ling until he staggered over a dozen steps backwards in a miserable fashion. Many experts in the building looked at a blood-covered Huang Ling whose face had become distorted, and the gloomy faces of Chen Qing and Li Lin by the side. Their mouths were parted. It seems like this incident would not end in a peaceful manner. Wine cup fragments fell onto the ground as a clear sound spread across the building, causing the crowd's hearts to jump. Several pairs of eyes twitched slightly as they looked at Huang Ling's bloody face. After which, they glanced at the calm-looking Lin Dong, who appeared as though he had done nothing, as all of them secretly gulped. He was indeed a fearsome individual who had killed 5 profound death stage experts. He showed no mercy when he attacked. Huang Ling's expression was slightly distorted at this moment. Although his face was covered in blood, he was not seriously wounded. However, his appearance made him seem a little miserable. "You bastard, I will definitely kill you today." Given Huang Ling's identity, he had never suffered such treatment before. Immediately, the expression in his eyes became ferocious as murderous intent involuntarily surged from within his heart like floodwaters. Bang! Extremely majestic Yuan power suddenly swept out from within his body after Huang Ling's sinister voice sounded. Faint death chi lingered within it, causing it to be extremely deadly. The fact that this Huang Ling had been able to climb to the 9th position on the rookie list was testament to his skills. His aura alone far surpassed that of an ordinary initial profound death stage expert. Those who could enter the top 10 on the rookie list had defeated others of the same cultivation stage. In fact, Huang Ling had also killed initial profound death stage experts before. It was clear that he had suffered because he was caught off guard previously. After all, he had never expected that Lin Dong was actually bold enough to attack him even with his 2 good friends backing him. Woo! Huang Ling's eyes were dark and cold as his body suddenly shot forward. Majestic Yuan power gathered in his hand and actually faintly took the shape of a tiger's head. The tiger head opened its ferocious and bloody mouth. Its sharp teeth were formed from boundless compressed Yuan power, and an unusual sharp Yuan power fluctuation spread from within them. Tiger teeth force. A low and deep cry was emitted from Huang Ying's mouth as a tiger's roar was heard. Several people present felt a terrible aura pounce at their faces, and even the air itself emitted a sharp sonic explosion. Clearly, Huang Ying was extremely furious. He did not bother probing Lin Dong. Instead, it seemed like he wanted to take Lin Dong's life immediately. "Lin Dong, be careful." The Gu Minchi trio hurriedly warned when they saw Huang Ying aggressively charging forward. Huang Ying's body was like lightning. Within a short period of time, he had arrived in front of Lin Dong. His eyes were sinisterly cold as he threw a punch forward. The surrounding tables and chairs were all turned into dust by the resultant force. The tiger teeth punch was ruthlessly thrown forward. Just as it was about to strike Lin Dong, green light suddenly blossomed. Promptly, a clear dragon roar resounded. After which, a green light fist rushed forward and slammed heavily against the tiger teeth punch. Bang! A low and deep sound spread within the building in a deafening manner, while ripples visible to the naked eye also swiftly unfurled. The surrounding experts hurriedly retreated upon witnessing this sight. It was likely that they were afraid of being dragged into this matter. 2 ferocious fist forces were locked in a stalemate. Huang Ling's expression suddenly changed after a couple of breaths, only to find that his tiger teeth punch was actually being defeated at a shocking rate. As the force was dispersed, a hand penetrated through his defense in a ghost-like fashion and landed on his chest with lightning speed. Boom! A low and deep sound of flesh hitting flesh spread. Soon after, everyone was stunned to see that Huang Ling's body was actually blown backwards. After which, he landed heavily on the ground. His body skidded against the ground and left a dozen-meter-long mark before he came to a miserable stop. Everyone looked at Huang Ling, who had once again been pushed back in defeat as their pupils shrunk. During the previous exchange, it could be said that Huang Ling was caught off guard. However, he no longer had any excuses this time. There was a reason why Lin Dong had replaced Huang Ling's and taken the 9th spot. It was very likely that the incident which occurred at Sky Lightning Sea region was true. Like I said, do not provoke me. Lin Dong slowly stood up after forcing Huang Ling back with a punch. An icy aura rose within his pitch-black eyes while resplendent green light surged around his body. Huang Ling's aggressive attitude had clearly roused Lin Dong's killing intent. Lin Dong, you dare wantonly in this place. The expressions of Chen Qing and Li Lin's changed when they saw that Huang Ling had actually been forced back by Lin Dong in a head-on exchange. They immediately stepped forward with gloomy expressions and stood in Lin Dong's way. Lin Dong stared at these 2 unfriendly individuals. He continued to walk forward, directly heading towards the 2 of them. You are courting death. Anger rose within the eyes of the Chen Qing duo when they saw Lin Dong's actions. As they stepped forward together, majestic Yuan power pressed onto the surrounding space until it exploded. Both of them threw their palms forward, which directly headed towards Lin Dong. Swoosh! Green light flashed on Lin Dong's body as he shot towards them in a straight line. He allowed the sharp palm winds the duo to land on his body amidst a series of exclamations. Ch. However, the low and deep sound of flesh hitting flesh did not appear when the palm winds landed on Lin Dong's body. Instead, the Chen Qing duo's palm attacks directly went through Lin Dong's body. After image. The Chen Qing duo's expressions changed drastically after they saw their palm attacks pass through Lin Dong. They suddenly turned around, only to see that Lin Dong had already appeared behind them in a phantom-like fashion. What swift speed! There were no lack of observant individuals in the building. Hence, many of their expressions quickly turned grave. Lin Dong's speed had clearly increased to a rather terrifying level. In fact, he was so fast that even the Chen Qing duo were unable to detect him. I'm afraid that this fellow's strength should be higher than the 9th position. Several people were secretly shocked. From the current situation, the strength that Lin Dong possessed had clearly surpassed his ranking. At the very least, even the 6th-ranked individual, who was above Chen Qing, was definitely unable to easily pass through the both of them. Truly interesting. One story above, a blue-clothed man leaned against a pillar and observed the fight below with great interest. This man's hands were sparkling white and there was a strange glowing symbol on his wrist. If one was to take a closer look, it seemed to be a white elephant seal. He is quite powerful. Moreover, he is also proficient in mental energy. Beside the blue-clothed man was a grey-clothed man. He looked ordinary, but his eyes were exceptionally bright. One would become dazed and giddy if one looked at them for too long. Even if the Chen Qing trio joined forces, it is unlikely that they will have any advantage in a fight against Lin Dong. They have met a tough one this time. The blue-clothed man laughed. The grey-clothed man nodded. His gaze turned towards a corner of the building. However, that fellow will mostly likely intervene. He has a decent relationship with Huang Ling's group and he will not allow Lin Dong to kill them. Also, that fellow seems to coveting your position, right? It is likely that he will challenge you today. The blue-clothed man casually nodded. That fellow is about to break through to the advanced profound death stage. Oh. The grey-clothed man lifted his brow as surprise flashed across his eyes. While the two were chatting, Lin Dong appeared beside the miserable-looking Huang Ling. He flicked his finger as an unusually sharp spiraling wind shot towards Huang Ling's forehead at lightning speed. Huang Ling's palm slammed against the ground and his body rapidly shot backwards. A couple of palm attacks were unleashed as he tried to block that incoming attack. Swoosh! Huang Ling's body had shot 100 feet backwards when his pupils suddenly shrunk. His eyes scanned the area and he was stunned as he realized that Lin Dong had mysteriously appeared behind him. Lin Dong's eyes were indifferent as his hand formed the shape of a blade. Green light surged as he slashed the air and mercilessly chopped at Huang Ling. That formidable stance did not allow Huang Ling to dodge. Lin Dong's palm blade was about to cut Huang Ling's body when his eyes suddenly hardened. An extremely shocking force was shooting towards a fatal spot on his back at lightning speed. Lin Dong's footsteps paused. Immediately, he turned around and threw a punch. Green light flashed and his punch dispersed the force while his body shook slightly. Soon after, he slowly lifted his head and looked towards a corner of the building where a figure holding a jar of wine was seated on the railing. The man had an indifferent expression as he looked at Lin Dong. The surrounding gazes turned towards the figure holding the wine jar at this moment. Their expressions changed as the noisy building suddenly became quiet. This video will end here.